doubles partner does not like to come to the net either when serving or returning. He has good ground strokes, but most opponents are able to make replies that avoid me at the net. Then, when they do both get up to the net, I'm stuck in a very exposed position up there. I'm thinking about playing 2 back versus 2 up might be better than 1 up, 1 back versus 2 up at the net. What do you think? I'm going to break this down into 3 main situations based on how strong your opponents are exactly, and I'll give you some advice for all 3 situations. So let's talk first about when you're in this situation, but your opponents really aren't the best. And you've basically got 2 main approaches here. So your partner's staying back. He's, basically holding his own. If that's a situation, then really there's no need to rock the boat, so to speak. No need to be super crazy up there at the net in your situation as the net player. Basically just wait for your easy shots, take care of those, and let your partner do his thing back behind you. Now, you could also choose to play really aggressively in this situation and really kind of take advantage of the fact that your opponents aren't great and really be aggressive up there. Do a lot of faking, do a lot of poaching, and that probably means that I might give up a couple of points down the alley, but by being really active up there, I'm going to force my opponents into making a lot of mistakes from the baseline position on their side, and I'll also be intercepting a lot of shots as well. So in the end, I'm going to come out way ahead. So those are basically your 2 choices when you're playing a team that's not great and pretty good chance that you're going to win. You can basically choose how aggressive you want to play it, and you can make that decision based on how comfortable you are at the net position and poaching and faking and doing all of that. Situation number 2 is when you're playing against a team that is solid, but they stay 1 up, 1 back, just like you and your partner. Well, if your partner is iffy, meaning he's really not holding his own anymore, then at that point in time, it's time to take over and be aggressive. I mean, it's either that or you just stand there, literally, mind your own business like so many doubles players do. Stay in the middle of your service box and then literally just watch as you 2 go down with the ship. Lastly, let's talk about playing against a team where they're both solid opponents and they like to attack the net. You've basically got 2 approaches that you can take here. Once they identify, they know that your partner is staying back and you're at the net, they're going to use strong ground strokes and solid volleys to avoid you at all costs until they get an easy shot, and then they're going at you. So in this situation, if you don't do anything about it, basically you're in the hot seat all match long and you're more or less useless. So 2 options. Option number 1, be a boss at the net. Just do whatever you can to take over first. You got nothing to lose here for sure against this team. Just go for it. Give it a shot. So that's option number 1. Be really aggressive. Option number 2, do your best to impact the point in a positive way by being aggressive. But if the opposing back player, makes it inside of the service line, he avoids you on a couple of shots. Maybe you try to poach, but you can't quite reach it. You go back, and a couple of shots later, that baseline opponent is closing in, and you just kind of sense both of them starting to breathe down your neck. Then get out of there. I think a lot of times doubles players have the opinion that it's kind of a lesser tactic to play 2 back. It's totally fine. It's totally legitimate. Professional doubles teams do it all the time when they're in a situation where they know they've been beat up at the net, and it's completely fine to use that as a tactic. Really, as a last resort, you can just start in a 2 back position as well. And again, there's nothing wrong with that either. The more you deal with this, the better you're going to get at it. So, don't be frustrated if at first, you're not successful. You do your best to use what I just suggested, but it doesn't work right away. That's okay. We're talking about good teams here, and it's going to take practice for you to get comfortable using these tactics against them.